Alright, it's recording.
Recording? Alright, sweet.
There you
Hey everyone, today I'm going to be analysing Werdum versus Oleinik from this past weekend's UFC. This fight had the most jiu-jitsu out of all the fights this past weekend, so I'm going to be analysing it. So I've cut down the video just to show all the groundwork. So we're going to start in round 2. Round 1, Werdum just got smashed in the stand-up. He was getting destroyed, and then he decided to use his jiu-jitsu. So let's start with round 2, and I'll give my analysis. So he gets a nice single leg, ends up in half guard.
And that didn't happen in round 1. Oleinik was able to defend the takedown, but as he starts...
And now he goes for a Kimura, but he realizes Oleinik is a monster. Cannot crank that on Oleinik, so he lets go of the Kimura, gets an underhook, does a few little punches, begins to flatten Oleinik, but Oleinik is good, gets on his side, and then Oleinik starts to turn to get out of the half guard, but he exposes his back, so that's a very silly thing to do in half guard. And then Werdum easily gets both hooks in, takes the back. But now this is where Werdum, I'm going to pause for a sec. See where Werdum's hips are? It's down here. His hips should be up here. Because they're down here, Oleinik has a greater chance to escape. So we teach this in our white belt first stripe mount drill, where you take the back. When you do get the back, if you are down here, it's wise to shuffle back. Post your hands on the ground and shuffle back. Because if you don't, you'll see what happens. We'll continue. Yeah, and that's what happened. Oleinik manages to slip out. So very important, stay on the lower back when you do have the hooks. Okay, so that was round 2. That was all the jiu-jitsu in round 2. Now we'll move on to round 3. The last round, there was a bit more. Werdum goes for the takedown at the start of the last round. It was a very nice takedown. So he shoots for a double right here, but he fails. Oleinik kind of does a sprawl. He shoots his hips back. And then pause here. Werdum gets this position. So his left arm's got an underhook, and his right hand is blocking Oleinik's knee here. So what Werdum's going to do is continue blocking the knee, keep running and driving forwards this way, and then continue driving with that underhook like that. And he's going to get the knee tuck takedown. This was very nice. Beautiful. And then he ends up in half guard again. And then Oleinik's going to try to do the same thing. Just try turn onto his knees from half guard, which is silly, especially against Werdum, high level black belt. Now Werdum here is not going to make the same mistake. He gets his hooks in, and then he now has face up back control. So Werdum is very good at arm bars from the back, so that's what he's going to try now. Werdum gets a good, okay, let's pause right, let's pause here. Okay, so Werdum's gone for the armbar, but there are a couple things that that Oleinik is doing well to prevent the armbar. Number 1, Oleinik is blocking Werdum's leg, because Werdum needs this leg to be in front of Oleinik's face, and he needs to kick Oleinik down this way, so Oleinik lands on his back and Werdum's on top in the armbar position. But Oleinik is doing well defending by blocking the leg, and he's also rear naked choking his own arm to prevent the armbar if it does happen. So he's already got 2 defenses set in place. And the third thing which causes Werdum not to get the armbar is his hips. His hips are not in a great position. As you can see here, they're like kind of facing that way. It needs to be more facing up. That way he gets a stronger kick downwards. And as you can see, if we continue, Oleinik will now be able to get on his knees. Okay, from here. So from here, Oleinik got on his knees. Werdum, to get the armbar, he still needs to do the same thing. He needs to get this leg in front of Oleinik's face, and if he can, kick him down that way, or he can roll the other way and also get the armbar. But it's much harder to finish the armbar when the opponent has got on his knees. So Oleinik did a very good job here. And if we continue forwards, you can see here, Werdum loses the armbar. So Oleinik did very well to get out of that, but he's in Werdum's close guard. Okay, let's see. Very subtle thing that you may have not noticed. Let's go back for a sec. Alright, so Werdum is in close guard. He's attacking the close guard. And right here. So right here he's got wrist control, and then he switches his grip. So his thumb was down, now he's going to switch to thumb up grip. Okay, because what he's going to do now with this thumb up grip, he's going to set up the Kimura. And very nice. He's got it here. So Werdum did very well in trapping that arm, and he's doing very well by taking his time, catching his breath, and waiting for the right moment to yank out Oleinik's arm. Because Oleinik's a strong bloke. He needs to wait for his time to explode and rip his arm out. Okay, very nice from Werdum. He ripped his arm out, and we pause here. Alright, so Werdum has a very good position here. He's scooted out, his legs on Oleinik's back to stop him from rolling. But you see here what Oleinik's doing, he's straightening his arm out like that. So for the figure 4 or Kimura, you want the arm 90 degrees. But as you can see here, it's not 90 degrees. It's straight up like that. So Werdum, to finish it, needs his arm bent. However, because he can't finish it, Oleinik's straightening out his arm, Oleinik has terrible posture. And what's going to happen, Werdum's just going to sweep him over using the Kimura. So he didn't get the submission, but he gets the sweep. So that's your dilemma, submission or sweep. So Werdum's on mount now. He still has the Kimura grip here. If you wanted to finish it, you can't really finish it from mount. Werdum needs to dismount, get to side control, step over his head and finish the Kimura from side control. But he decides to let go and work the mount. Still has the Kimura here, but he will let go shortly, yes. Alright, now he's going to work the mount. Oleinik straight away turns away, exposing his back once again. And then Werdum is very insistent. He takes the back. He's very insistent. This time, very nice. His hips are not facing towards the ground as much. This time you can see here, his hips are facing more towards up. He's able to get his leg in the face. Oleinik can't block that. And he does very well. Okay, so Werdum succeeded in getting the armbar, what he couldn't do in the previous round. So that was very nice from Werdum. Now he's in the armbar position. Okay, from here. So Oleinik is defending the armbar by rear naked choking his arms. That's probably the strongest armbar defense. Werdum, very smart, goes to attack the fingers and rip it off to try and finish the armbar. So whenever you're in the armbar position here, it's wise not to just yank on the elbow, but attack the fulcrum, which is the fingers or the wrist or the thumb pad. So it's good to attack the end of the lever here, not the elbow. So Werdum is trying to do that, but then Oleinik does well. Oleinik hides his hand again, and then he manages to pop his head out right there. So let's go back one sec. So right here, when someone's popped their head out here, it's going to be very hard to finish the armbar. What's most likely going to happen, the guy on the bottom is just going to try bridge and roll into your close guard. So you can avoid that by putting this leg back over the head, but in this case, Oleinik was able to start bridging, as you can see here. But Werdum smart, very smart. He lets go of the armbar because he knows that's going to happen, and then he does a little hip bump sweep, and then maintains his top position, gets into mount. So that was really good from Werdum. He maintained his position. He's still on mount. Oleinik does the same thing again. Tries to roll away. Werdum should have just threw down here, like smashed the ground and pound, but he was too insistent on this armbar. He's trying to go for the armbar again. Oleinik's turning. He's very adamant on the armbar, which caused him to lose the back again. So let's just go to the very end if we can. So pretty much the same thing. Werdum was a bit high on Oleinik's back and it was too focused on the armbar, and that's why he lost the the back again. All right, we won't fast forward to the end, but that's what happened. Werdum ended up losing the fight because he just got smashed on the feet, and as you can see there, his jiu-jitsu didn't get him the win. He tried doing his ground game too late in the fight. He should have started doing his ground work in round 1. And then when Werdum did get Oleinik on the ground, Oleinik actually did very well to get out in all cases. So that's how Oleinik won the fight.